You're a better man than me, BB Shea. BB, she says he's cheering for North Carolina tonight for our state and our conference. And I never do that. I never do that. I never go like, oh, yeah, for the conferences.
Well, no one's ever said to I don't mean to jump in on your rain on your parade, but no one's ever said, Chris Kelly, you're a better man than I.
No.
About anything, in any facet.
No, you're right.
So it's not shocking that BB Shea's a better man than you.
Okay, true. And I did not mean to just unleash on you the way I did when I first saw you today. When you said, hey, man, how was your weekend? And I said, pretty good. Yeah. And I'm just like crotch pointing. I had not planned that. It was totally unplanned. I apologize.
It's like I just asked a question, man.
Yeah, the real me really came out and really just crushed it. Well, it's like the event I told you a minute ago.
You're not a better man.
No. This is about radio, and we're taking up canned food for Katrina victims. And we were all parked at the Walmart with our vans, and you could go into Walmart and bring out bottles of water and whatnot, So there we are next to one of our hated enemies, the adult contemporary station. Magic. We're playing against Magic, okay, and we're out there, and they happen to
the Michael Bolton Whitney Houston station.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You at the time were...
I was on a this was for flood relief, and I was
this the Mississippi floods?
Mississippi floods, is
Mississippi
what it was.
River flooding. Okay,
yes,
not Katrina.
Yes, the huge flooding in the Mississippi Delta, and we were taking up bottles of water and canned food, and we had somebody in radio said, we have the power. Let's all get together. All the stations.
Everybody up and down the dial.
Will be, and so every station's van was out there at Walmart, and anybody could buy anything. Well, we wanted to we wanted to give the most. So we were telling people, don't give to
don't screw the news station.
Right. Come on over to our station. And then it got down. We just thought it was later in the day, and I thought nobody was there except the vans. So the promotions guy and I was like, let's get some rocks and throw them at the Magic van. The Magic van was our sworn enemy. They were playing Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. So were we. We're back. I mean, there's a battle. So we go get rocks and start flinging them at the
What
station.
size rocks? I'm not sure I've ever heard that detail, Kelly. Would do damage rocks or just pebbles?
Just pebbles. Just to,
symbolic.
Yeah. Just send a little message that we were here.
Tick.
Right. We're not going away.
You're not a better man.
And so one of their techs leaned the head out the window and said, hey, you guys, you're not throwing rocks at our van. So we did what we always did. We ran. We ran away.
In your T-shirts.
In our T-shirts.
With the station logo.
They knew. So we got into our station van and started driving away and put it on their station. And the DJ back at their station said, guys, I just want to let you know, something just happened out at the Walmart. Now, we're all trying to do a good thing and raise awareness and take up canned goods and bottled water for this crew from Mississippi. Well, our competitor just threw rocks at our van. And, of course, then everybody else was like, who would do something like that? Who could be low enough to do something like that? We were booed everywhere we went, of course. It just didn't. All our charitable work went for naught because we had thrown rocks at our competitors. And that's radio for you. Take no prisoners. It is take no prisoners.
There are a few people who sort of look at it as a brotherhood. But most don't.
Very few. Yeah, there's no
deep down.
No,
we're the most insecure people on the planet.
That's a fact. And when somebody wins an award, we always say,
"Him
for that."
That show
won an award? Jesus, you've got to be kidding me. Then we make up excuses like, "Well, we won it 2 years ago. We're not allowed to win it this year."
Yeah,
we do.
It's a popularity contest. You got to know people.
We do a lot of that. Here's some car news now. New vehicles sold in the U.S. will have to be at 40 miles per gallon under new rules by 2026. You have to be able to get new vehicles produced, have to get 40 miles per gallon. And environmentalists said this didn't go far enough. It should be higher than that. But the folks who make the automobile say it's the best we can do by 2026, 40 miles a gallon. Which I thought to myself, if you can do that, what? Shouldn't it be that way already? If you can do it that well, shouldn't it be? Don't you want everybody to get the best gas mileage, period? New rules will reduce gasoline consumption by more than 220 billion gallons over the life of the vehicle. 220 billion gallons for all those, all the vehicles produced, not just one vehicle. But with gas prices as high as they are now. I think everybody's thinking about gas. They're down like 20 cents over the last few weeks, they say. The driver, and I have heard of this before, we had a call years ago about a driving instructor. Now there's a man named Greg Sorensen. He's a driving instructor. He's 54, pulled over and arrested in Florida, DUI, in the car that he uses for driving instruction.
He was alone, right?
He was alone.
Okay.
There was nobody else in the car. But it's like, boy, you're supposed to set an example.
If you have one of the, if you are, because you see him every now and then, because when I learned to drive, there were a few driving schools, but the county schools kind of took care of driver's ed.
Right.
But you do see people have driver's schools,
Yeah.
and they have their little stickers on their cars or their placards, what have you. To me, it would be like a Domino's pizza thing. Take the sign off.
Yeah.
If there's not a student behind the wheel, take the sign off.
Yes, absolutely right. But he was caught, I guess, sign on.
Yeah.
And, of course, everybody's thinking, wow, you're the driving instructor.
How would you feel if your kid was taking or signed up to get lessons with this guy next week?
Pull him out. He can't do it. I'm sure the guys, will he be allowed to teach anymore? I wouldn't think so.
You might lose your license, and with that, you probably can't teach.
No,
Don't you have to be a licensed driver?
Yeah, I would think at the very least, I would think he's not allowed to teach anymore, for a good long time. The Mel Gibson story, we asked, what does Chris Kelly have in common with Mel Gibson? Mel was on with an interviewer for Fox News named Jesse Waters, and they were talking about his new movie, Father Stew, or the new movie, Father Stew. I've seen a couple of previews for that. Who's in it? Father Stew.
It's got Mel,
Yeah.
and it's got Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
And I can't remember if
Wahlberg's the star.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And he becomes a priest. Or
I believe that's the
Okay.
character.
I just saw the commercial this weekend. Well, Mel was being questioned about the movie and so forth, and the slap at the Oscars came up, the Will Smith slap, at the end of the interview. And right before he's going to answer the question about what would you do had you been in that situation, or what, I guess the reporter asked, what do you think would have happened had you been the one doing the slapping? His handler came in and said, that's the end of this interview. And that was on Fox News. Wow. That's on television.
I was wondering if, you had been the one that jumped up out of his seat and slapped Chris Rock, if you would have been treated the same way, Mel.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you. That's our time.
Have you ever thought about that?
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay.
That is our time.
Well, Mel, thank you very much for joining Jesse Waters Primetime, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Guess you didn't hear us say.
Because he did 5 minutes, Mel did.
Yeah.
I wonder if one wonders if they were told not to bring up Oscar slap.
Almost guaranteed. And I think the guy thought, I'll get the 5 minutes in the very last question.
I'll throw it in.
I'll do Oscar slap.
Watch this.
Yeah. If he had done it first, I think they would have ended it. Don't
They
you
might
think?
have.
I think if he had led with it, they would have ended it.
Yeah.
What does he have in common with me? Famous interview, myself and Mick Fleetwood.
Sure.
Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. And I was getting ready to hold his feet to the fire.
Yeah.
And his handler.
Tales of cocaine and debauchery. Right. I mean, 4 minutes is all about the new album, the new tour.
Sure. Nobody cared one thing about it. So finally, I'm getting ready to get into it.
If I could ask you one more question, we really have to move on. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Well, listen, thank you.
Bye, everybody. It's good to know I'm in the same company with Fox
The
News.
disembodied voice.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power. You don't hear them much, but they do have power.
I didn't know he was on the line. I had no idea there was anybody else there. And all of a sudden, they just come in and go, that's it. That's it.
That's all for Mick. Say goodbye. we really have to move on.
And I had said, you don't push Chris Kelly around.
If I could ask you one more question, we really have to move on. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Well, listen, thank you very much.
You hear that? You hear how I handle that? Same for the Fox News folks. They tried to put it in.
I was wondering if, you had been the one that jumped up out of his seat and slapped Chris Rock, if you would have been treated the same way, Mel.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you. That's our time.
And then talk about the power. You're
And
right.
Mel is waving his hand like, Ixnay on the Oscar absolute.
Mel didn't want it either.
Yeah.
Mel wanted no part of that.
Look, I don't need to talk about crazy. I am. You don't want me to start talking about that. Believe me.
Right. And so he goes back again.
Have you ever thought about that?
Thank you, Jesse. That is our time.
And that tone the second time,
Yeah.
You know better than
Come on,
this.
bro.
That is our time.
You're not you're not asking this question now. You know that's not happening.
Did anybody, Kelly, you said you had the entire Grammy rundown this morning.
Yes.
Except for Best Latin, Spoken Word, etc.
Correct, yes.
Did anyone bring up the Oscar
Excuse
slap?
me. I have spoken word. I do.
God.
Don Cheadle won Best Spoken Word last night.
Really?
He's a good speaker.
Reflections on a New Generation, for a New Generation from John Lewis. Don Cheadle on Spoken
Did he read the
Word.
book?
I guess so. It's called Carry On, Reflections for a New Generation from John Lewis. Wow. I don't know that anybody brought up the slap. I didn't watch a second of the Grammys. I don't know if anybody brought up the slap. I know
They
it
must have.
surely. It was all over Saturday Night Live this weekend. You know, of course.
Well, I mean, I think it was Trevor Noah was the host of the Grammys from Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Biggie was talking about this before Biggie took his leave, that Kanye West was supposed to be on the Grammys, but Trevor's afraid of him, or they have beef.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know about
He
that.
did say that. He did say that.
I thought Biggie had alluded to that. Maybe it was off the air, but Noah didn't want anything to do with Kanye.
Yeah, that's true. They had some sort of a falling out, and so Trevor Noah said he's not going to be here. Plus, Kanye's a bit of a
Talk about a loose cannon.
loose cannon. That's the
He's
word.
unpredictable.
Loose cannon is the word. Very unpredictable, right? So, I mean, of course, they got through it. Nothing happened last night. One of the producers for the Oscars, by the way, was explaining a little more about the slap. And at first, even he is the executive producer of the Oscars. His name is Will Packer. And he said when it first happened, even I thought it was a bit. You know, he thought this is scheduled between Chris and Will, and they didn't tell me about it.
I thought this was part of something that Chris and Will were doing on their own. I thought it was a bit. I thought it was a bit like everybody else. I knew we hadn't practiced it.
Not concerned.
I wasn't concerned at all. Once I saw Will yelling at the stage with such vitriol, my heart dropped. And I just remember thinking, oh no, oh no.
Oh, Lord, this might be a big problem. And I've heard a lot of people now saying that Chris Rock handled it in the only way he could, because if he goes back at Will Smith, then that's the end of the Oscars.
Yeah.
If you've got a brawl on
You mean
the
that
stage,
telecast
that
that night?
telecast would have ended that night. If Chris Rock had been like, "You're not smacking me," and they go back and forth at each other, and then security comes in, and it's like a daytime talk show. It's like a Maury Povich type show. They might not have been able to go on with it. I wonder about that, though. I mean, you still haven't given out the big award.
Yeah, they might take a break for
Yeah.
10 minutes or whatever and settle things. But
Yeah.
I did see that Will Smith he's voluntarily resigned from the Academy, which means he can't vote.
My wife said that means nothing. Can't vote. It's like, that.
I bet he won't. He won't present next year either.
No, I'm sure he won't present. But will he be back in a couple of years? After the next year, will he be back?
Well, Hollywood loves a comeback, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that in 5 years he's up there nominated again.
Certainly possible that he could be nominated again. He is losing a lot of. He's lost a couple of. I'm reading about him. He lost the ability to vote. He gave that up. He was supposed to do a movie for Netflix called Fast and Loose, and they've now canceled it, for at least for now. And he was supposed to be in Bad Boys 4, and they've stopped any kind of production going forward on that for now as well.
Now he's impacting Martin Lawrence's life. One slap.
One slap. He has already filmed a movie called Emancipation for Apple TV Plus. It's in post-production, and they've said we're going to shelve it for a while. I mean, a lot of repercussions out of the one slap, at least for now. And, as you said, he resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, so he will not be able to vote again.
There go the screeners.
So he doesn't get that, doesn't get those.
You don't get those free screeners.
No, he doesn't get those sent to him, nothing like that. And then Denzel was saying this weekend, he was being interviewed, and they asked him, what did he mean about, how Will Smith said, the devil gets you at your highest moment. When you think you're up there on top, that's when the devil comes. Maybe that's what happened when I threw rocks at the opposing stations.
The devil.
Well, we were at our highest moment. We had organized this big
Had a truck full of water and food. And
Yeah. At our highest moment, here comes the devil making me throw rocks at the opposing station's van.
right at Michael Bolton's face.
Yeah.
When a man, ding, ding,
Oh, right
ding.
on him.
Yeah.
They had two big faces, Bolton and Mariah Carey, which is ironic because they're my two favorite artists. You know that. And there's now Olivia Rodrigo. I mean, these are the people I love. And here I am throwing rocks at them. Denzel said, here's what that means.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you,
then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Now, he's my favorite. right. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of you.
One person clapped.
Yeah.
I love Denzel. I don't understand. I still don't understand.
Get it either. Woo!
Preach.
Yeah.
Hey, get him.
Jesus?
Gone now.
When you're a bad person, when you're doing your...
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone. He's doing fine work.
I got him.
When you're a good person, that's when the devil comes in. I guess that's how I'm interpreting what he said.
And
there.
we should point out, too, if you're relatively new to this program, our friend B.B. Shea helping us out on a short-term basis. Denzel, the second best actor in that family, according to B.B. Shea.
Yeah.
God almighty,
His son's way better.
Oh, my God.
Substantially better.
I don't mean to, I'm not trying to throw shade, but, the devil made me do it.
Let me tell you, when Chris Demm just said this, I was like, who else is in his family? He's got a son.
Yeah.
His son is a good, I like him.
No, I
He's
like
very
Denzel
good.
too, but his son is great.
I saw him in Black Klansman.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
But there's not a huge body of work. Denzel, he's been working.
He didn't need that much. Yeah. Two
You've seen
things.
enough?
That and Tenet, and it's over
He's
with.
in Tenet.
Yeah.
So you've said today, one thing I agree with you on. You said Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license is as good as Let It Be.
Yes.
By the Beatles.
Yes.
Moon River. By Henry Mancini.
Yes.
And now you're saying Denzel Washington is not the best actor in his family.
Write it down.
They sit down at breakfast.
Take it to the bank. Yep.
Denzel is not the best actor at that table.
No.
You got him out there today.
Yeah.
You're feisty today.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. You are out there with some opinions. We talked to open the segment about the guy who was driving. He's an instructor for driver's ed, and
He won't get his Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license.
No, no, he will not.
I drive my car.
I had my driver's license suspended.
Oh my God!
So I was drunk inside my car.
They should do that for him. But we have a P1. Yeah, he was DUI inside the instructor's vehicle. We have a P1 Thomas who had something similar happen to him when he was being instructed by the driving instructor.
Yes, when I was 15, I had one. He pulled out a joint and said, "Do you smoke?" And I said, "Yeah." We got on 52, rolled down the windows, and was smoking weed, going down 52 towards Lexus.
Jesus God.
That cannot be true.
Yeah, it is true. It's true. It freaked me out when he said, "Do you smoke weed?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I got a stove." I was taking a private driving test, and
I guess you passed with flying colors then.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I passed. Because I already knew how to drive. I've been driving before.
Yeah. And do you think that was the right decision? Have you had any accidents?
Nah, I don't have no license right now, though.
My driver's license last week.